Hello, everybody. I'm Sudha Jamthe, and here we are at SudhaLive. Happy Friday to those of you who are finishing up the weekend or finishing up the week to get started with the weekend. And those of you who are watching from other global zones where you're already into your weekend, thank you for finding the time to join us. So, I'm Sudha Jamthe. I'm joining here from Silicon Valley, and I love this hour or half an hour I get to spend with you where we talk about AI opportunities. And this week, I have a very, very special announcement. It's April 1st. This is not a, April Fool's joke, but there's going to be a huge announcement. So before we get started, I share AI opportunities as a technology futurist. I teach artificial intelligence bootcamp for product and business managers at Stanford Continuing Studies. So I heard from some of you who want to join my course. It's online, 2 hours a week for 5 weeks, starting April 25th, I believe, the Monday, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Coast time, PET time zone, which might not make time zone sense for some of you. So you were asking, can you come watch the recording? Can you still get a certificate? All that is good. Check, check. But one person was saying, I want to benefit from the interaction. Will it be worth it? So I believe in bringing people together who come from variety of different backgrounds and perspectives. So you'll have a global mix of students, you will have people who are from all kinds of backgrounds. When it says product managers, business managers, they could, it's quite a range. And I try to drive a discussion within the limits of Zoom and online. But one of the things I insist that all my students do is be very aware on what are you doing, why are you taking this course? Is it just a certificate, but for what? Is it towards a career pivot? Is it to understand best practices for your work? Or you're new to AI and you want to figure out, how to navigate this, and you're from a product management or a spectrum of range of roles where you're not the engineer or the data scientist, or you're a data scientist and you want to learn the business side of things. So the syllabus is there right there in the registration. So I'm going to share that. So one thing I insist is I will be hosting an office hour once a week. So if you miss the class because it didn't make time zone sense, I would insist that you watch the recording, come back and meet with me, and we will have this office hour discussion to match your time zone. So I'm planning right now morning California time, which overlaps with Latin America, Africa, Europe, not so much Eastern Europe, and see whether that would meet the needs of the majority of students. If I find students who are from Asia or who are from Melbourne or somewhere, I would try to do another office hour. Right now, I don't know with the mix of students, but I'll make sure that you get to do an office hour with me in a reasonable time zone for you and me. So plan for that. If you definitely cannot attend the interactive live session, plan to watch the recording, come back and have an office hour with me. Then maybe you can volunteer to build a project, because part of the course is you don't need to build a project, but given it's 5 weeks. But I'm very big on no code AI, and I like to make people do some real hands-on work in teams and stuff. So there's a lot of opportunities on how you can get the learning, because I insist that you get the learning. So go through the syllabus. If that's interesting, talk to me. I will tell you, but for the person who was asking whether they can do this course, because it was not time zone sense for them, can they watch the recording and come back? They will get a live office hour with me, but you need to schedule it, and I will make it available every week at a consistent time. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to get started with the other opportunities I wanted to share with you. But before that, we are still in the Ukraine war going on, and it's horrible, horrible, horrible. So I wanted to share one resource which was put together by my student, Vlad Maisla, and he's doing this as a LinkedIn newsletter, saying today's Ukraine news in 5 minutes. And so it's 37th day today. So he gives you this is Vlad Maisla. He's actually a product manager, leader in the NLP space and chatbots. So brilliant person if you want to follow him. But follow his work here on this newsletter if you want to know what's the latest that happens. And he's got amazing amount of detail, filtering through the news through all channels. But the important thing is he also gives you lot of information on how you can help and how we can, get involved and participate and support the people of the brave people of Ukraine. So thank you, Vlad, for doing that. I appreciate that. So the second thing I want to share with you is all that you're hearing here will go into my Jamthe newsletter. Jamthe, as in my name, Jamthe. J in my name is not silent for those of you who are trying to pronounce it. I'm not Amte, I'm Jamthe. There's a Jamthe newsletter. And let me see if I can find that for you. Okay, so bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter is the archive. So if you just want to come and click and see the newsletter, each week this goes live at 9 a.m. Pacific Coast time, which is, 18-hour in Europe on Sundays. So we will share the SudhaLive, this one, and a lot of resources. We'll tell you about weekly Wednesday speakers. That's our global speaker series, and all the links and jobs and events and podcast and everything that I share here will go there. So if that's something you want to capture all the links and follow up, bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter, I would recommend that you to sign up for that. Okay, so I told you about the Stanford class. I told you about the newsletter. One interesting thing we had, as we got to April 1st, we closed out International Women's Month, and at Weekly Wednesday. So Weekly Wednesday is our speaker series hosted by my student and AI researcher from Bangalore, Yash. It's Yash Yashwini Vishwanath. She goes by Yash. And we bring amazing speakers once a week. And we had all women speakers all through March. It was nothing. It was just 4 weeks and we got 4 speakers, but amazing amount of learning. But if you look at the stats on gender equality and how many speakers are there in conferences per woman, how much research is done by women, how many women-led startups are being funded, the data is so sad, heartbreaking. And so I want to share an amazing speaker we had last week. Her name is Shiva Subram, and she did a fantastic job talking to us.
Fintech is a fancy word for technology to solve financial problems. So why is it more popular recently, especially post-pandemic, and also how leveraging AI has only enhanced financial solutions to reach mass communities instead of certain corporations. So it's where fintech and AI meet together. In simple terms, financial technology literally means applying technology to business problems that take finance to individuals rather than individuals going to larger institutions, which have several obstacles, especially in underbanked and unbanked communities.
So you can watch this. This is on our YouTube. Again, I will be sharing this at the Jamthe newsletter. And one of the things that was inspiring with this session for me is I learned about the activities of Women in AI, nonprofit group, which is, there are Women in AI for various regions of the world. And Chuva is part of the Women in AI North America branch leadership team. And they've done amazing work. And so watch the video, draw inspiration. And if you're into fintech, that's great. If you're interested in, being an entrepreneur or solving business problem, there's lots of nuggets of wisdom there. So I would definitely recommend you watching that. So the next Weekly Wednesday, and I told you there's a surprise. The next Weekly Wednesday that's coming up this Wednesday, April 6th at 9 a.m. Pacific time or 18-hour Nigeria and Europe time is AI Research 101 by yours truly. And I come in and do a webinar once in a while. And I'm going to be doing this to get us to a same page to understand what is AI research, the what and the how and why of this. And my motivation is to help you understand that you don't have to be a data scientist. You could be somebody who is solving a business problem, has no domain knowledge in a specific area, or just passionate about a specific problem you want to solve for. And how do you get started? And we have an amazing event called IoT Day that I host with my dear friend Roxy Stimson. And that is coming up on April 9th. And it's a 24-hour event led all women speakers for 24 hours, starting from 9 a.m. Melbourne time in every 9 a.m. time zone all the way till 3 p.m. Our time. So hear from Roxy what this event is about and why I'm excited about it. Okay, let me share my screen again and you can hear directly from Roxy. Okay, here we go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to you. It is that time again. This is our 4th year. On the IoT Day, April 9th, 2022, Sudha, Jamthe, and I will host another marathon featuring IoT women from all around the world. This year's theme is AI research. We are excited to have the support from Susanna Raj again. Welcome back. And Yasha Vishwanath. We will likely live stream 24 hours, 24 women-led sessions, an IoT Day women event from 3 p.m. April 8th to 3 p.m. April 9th in Silicon Valley, USA, Pacific Daylight Time. Join us to learn about IoT, data, AI, chatbots, and more from IoT women from all around the world. My name is Roxy Stimson, currently a Vice President of Engineering at F5 and former Chief Technology Officer at IoT World Labs. Sudha Jamthe is a professor at Stanford and a globally recognized technology futurist on IoT, AI, and AV business. See everyone again soon. Register today on the Business School of AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxy. Okay, so
good
IoT
morning,
Day.
Good afternoon,
she's
and good night to
again
you.
because I didn't finish the recording. Okay, so why does it matter? I mean, if you want to, for those of you who were there last year, you don't need an introduction. But for those of you who are new to this, here I want to share another screen. So if you're part of Business School of AI, if you're part of Weekly Wednesday, that is our community, then you would have been part of our IoT Day celebration already. So let me go back and share my screen again. So if you are, if you just go to businessschoolofai.teachable.com, that's where you're signed up for Weekly Wednesday or any of our free events and webinars, you must see this. This is the IoT Day event that we hosted last year. And so if you scroll down, and here is dear Roxy, and if you scroll down, you can actually see what was the lineup, who were the speakers, what topics did we cover last year. And in fact, if you scroll all the way down, you can see the previous year also. But the thing I want you to look at is, this is the bio of all the speakers. We did 22 hours with 22 women last year. And if you're registered there for free, you will get access to all the 22 hours of recording right here. So you can see the topics that we covered, various different recorded stream session, and then we did a bunch of live sessions, and we kind of arranged it as camps last year. This time we are going to arrange it by different segments. So we're going to have, like Roxy said, we're going to start at Melbourne time. So it's going to be 9 a.m. Melbourne, which is 3 p.m. in California time. And we're going to start with Malka Helga Moge, who is a professor who's going to talk about her research work. So we're going to have amazing women researchers share their research papers. Periodically, we would have somebody like Dr. Chitra Durai come in and tell us what is the role of an AI research fellow. And she's been an IBM research fellow, and she's going to talk about her work. And so, or there might be somebody who's showing you an IoT that they built, and what does that mean, what problem it's solving, how do they went through that. So you learn about IoT, you learn about different aspect of AI, and you learn from different researchers sharing their work. And then I'm going to come in and do this research, AI research 101, the same thing that you will see on Weekly Wednesday, but a larger version of that, on how you will get involved to build AI research and build out a poster, develop a hypothesis to solve a real problem. What's the starting point? How you can get involved? And so that session is going to replay through all the different segments. So we have the Asia, Australia segment. Then we have the Europe segment. In fact, India, 9 o'clock, we have Divya Dwivedi, who's going to be talking about AI audits and gender equality. So that is going to be also in the Asia, India time band. And then Europe wakes up. So we have UK and we have a couple other countries in Europe. So we have those sessions, and then we will all come in. Roxy, myself, and Susanna are in Pacific time zone. So we will do a live from 10 o'clock on April 9th till 3 p.m. And we have some of these women who are able to join us live because it makes time zone sense, will join us, and we'll have amazing panels and discussions live, and you can participate. It's all going to be in a Zoom session, and we will bring it to you. If you're registered, you get access to the Zoom. It's very secure and private and all that stuff. Okay, so so I told you about the IoT day. I have not shown you where to register for it. So I'm going to go back. So here is the URL on where you can register. So it's MailChimp / Business School of AI / IoT Day. I'm going to put all of these links that I'm sharing today in our newsletter, bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter. I always find it very amusing to say bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter. And thank you to Yash for building up this landing page for us. So you can come sign up. We are going to limit it to a small group of people. So it's not going to be, hundreds of people in a Zoom session where you don't get to interact. So if you sign up, that's better, because if you're part of our weekly Wednesday, or if you're part of the 400 people who attended last time, doesn't matter. We are not going to spam you and keep sending those emails. So this is the only way you can get involved, because I believe you're all going to come from different time zones. So you're not going to have everybody at the same time. And then you sign up, you attend in your time zone, come back and watch a recording later. And like last year, you'll get access to all the different recordings. So it tells you about this, right? Research 101, no borders. The beauty is you're going to get amazing women from everywhere. So in fact, one of the fun conversations I had today was with Dr. Chitra Durai, and she reminded me she focuses, her whole one quote drives her work. And if you don't work on important problems, it's not likely that you'll do important work. And this is by Richard Hemming, and this is her life mantra. And she's going to talk to us about how she picks huge problems to solve for to build AI research. So AI research end product might look like a paper that you're publishing, but what is the research you're doing? What is the problem you're solving? What is the hypothesis you are going through? How do you validate it? And why are you doing this? What is the purpose of going through all this pain? And what problem are you solving when you build an AI with that? Is the crux of Chitra's work. And I want to show you another site. By trying to do this globally across multiple groups, one of my personal aspiration is to bring amazing women from every time zone, and to break the barriers that we have where we feel limited in our own little silos, whether it is a functional silo or a geographic silo. When we build AI, we have local knowledge and we have local data. So I want us to collaborate across borders. So I want to show you another site that inspires me. It is called africanobservatory.ai. So here's the URL. Again, all these URLs I'm going to be sharing at the Jamthe newsletter. Okay. So what their mission is to bring African voices, values, and experiences to the global discussion on AI. So there are a lot of different things going. Love the animation they have in here. So one section in here is called Women in Focus, and their women in focus is Professor Aluka Pros Nagita. And again, let's go look at her. And Professor Nagita holds a PhD in management studies from the University of South Africa. And she has amazing background. And she is currently at Uganda Management Institute, where she is a lecturer. And today, when we are looking at pandemic, the impact of the pandemic on global supply chain, she is a very important person who is doing research and has contributed to research in public procurement and supply chain. And she's, across many universities where she's worked, that has been a constant research area that she's focused on. So I wanted to to share a person who is doing research to solve real problems and has made it her life calling as she works on this research across multiple areas. So you could have an area that is passionate to you, or you could, want to just career pivot and, do research and kind of, solve for a real global problem with data and knowledge that you bring from wherever you come from. So that's my aspiration with that. I already showed you our weekly Wednesday fintech speaker, and let me get to what I want to do with all this. Like, why are we doing this? Our whole goal is we want everybody to come together. We want you to come together with other people who are so different from you, but not forget that technology is built in one region or one company, but you can contribute, especially with AI, with the data and the knowledge that you have. And in a fun setting, you're going to learn this over 24 hours, and maybe you will come and participate in it for 3 hours, doesn't matter. So that's our aspiration. So with that, I want to wrap up and hope you will join me at weekly Wednesday at Business School of AI. So if you go to businessschoolofai.com and click on weekly Wed at the top, you can join that. And I hope you will sign up for the AI research webinar and join me and come with your questions. If you think that AI research is not the right way to go about it, maybe you think that we could have an idea, we should go build a patent on it and go build a product on it, talk to me. Because essentially what you're doing is you're trying to solve a problem, you're trying to innovate using AI, assuming AI is the answer, that it is, it's a predictive problem and not a prescriptive problem, which can be solved by heuristics. We could go that route, but let's have a conversation. And I'll tell you why doing this, understanding how to do this with research. And then, you'll hear from all the amazing women and researchers. And that's one of the things you'll see whenever you learn AI, and, they teach you how to build code, how to build product, but research papers, understanding research papers and making sense of it is kind of hard. So this would be a great start, even if you're not quite ready for research. Just looking at, hearing people explain different research papers would be very, very, very amazing. So I told you we have Professor Malka Mulge, who's going to start our session kickoff from Melbourne time zone. We have Professor Sonia Taheresa from Iran, who's going to be joining us during the Europe band. We have like amazing mix of amazing researchers. So hope you'll join me. IoT Day on April 9th in all top possible time zones. Okay. And with that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic weekend and stay safe. And I will see you next week, or at SudhaLive, or I will see you already at weekly Wednesday if you're going to be coming in for my webinar on AI research. And you can join the bit.ly Jamthe newsletter, or if you go to Business School of AI on LinkedIn, we'll be sharing this recording plus the resources and stuff. So hope to see you there. And be sure to add a comment and ask questions. I'll come back, because I know this is streaming on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. I can't be there in all places. So I'll come back and, answer your questions, and hopefully we'll have a discussion and it'll be fun. So thank you. Stay safe, and I will see you soon next week. Bye.